to the best morning show on the globe. It's Brady and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron or Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater and I'm scoring. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all paying Ziffy. I'm Ken Griffey or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing. Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SP, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradham and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Brad in the morning. Marques and Justin Emery.
I told you. The Rams won. I was going to come on here and be insufferable. Not to you because you haven't been giving me any pushback on it. But the people have been giving me pushback on it. Okay. So I had Rams to I had 3 futures tickets for the Rams. Actually 4. Sorry, 4 futures if you count the individual one. So I had Rams to win the division, Rams to win the NFC, Rams to win the Super Bowl, and Stafford to win the MVP. Okay. Stafford to win the MVP is probably out. I don't think he's going to win the MVP right now. He looked good in the beginning of the year, but he floundered in the middle towards the end. He's not going to get that. So that one's going to be a loss. Obviously, they won the NFC. Division. Super Bowl. It's the only one that's left, Marcus. And we're going to get it. We are going to get it. Not only did I put my money where my mouth was, I went and I drafted Matt Stafford in fantasy, and he led me to a championship. It's looking real bad for all those people that pushed it back against it. Real bad. In fact, Marcus, I got the Bradham and Emery drink of choice here, or at least the Emery side of it. I know that we did dive into this, though, on the St. Patrick's Day episode. Go back and listen, March 17th, 2021. That episode fueled by none other than the Don Julio. And to pair with it, I got myself a nice little thing of pineapple juice. So I'm going to get my Eagles football glass up here. Forgot to get some ice. Meant to put some ice in it. Forgot to. So we going iceless. But I'm going to pour myself a drink. Hopefully I don't break my hand patting myself on the back talking about how right I am. And we're going to dive in and talk about this this championship weekend because as well, you had a very good day this weekend as well.
Oh, I did.
Talk about it. I want to pour myself a drink and I want to hear
big cash talk.
Ooh,
big cash talk.
Let's hear it. How was it?
Saturday night, nice little parlay for you. 6-legger. Just a nice 50 spot. Just a little 50 spot, nothing crazy. Cash for a cool 1,800. No big deal. No big deal. Toronto Raptors nearly gave me a cardiac incident when they went in the trip. They were up by 11, and then they ended up going to the triple overtime, but they pulled it out and won, giving me my upset on that card. The Sixers tried to also give me a coronary when they decided to play around with the Sacramento Kings a little bit too long. But I got to tell you, for people out there, here's one you should always go for. The Dallas Mavericks always seem to do what you want them to do. You pick the Dallas Mavericks to cover, they cover. Money line. Whenever I pick Luka and Dallas on my ticket, always cashes for me. It was a good weekend for me.
Good weekend for you. Great weekend for me.
Yeah.
I got my drink poured. It tastes almost as good as the tears of my enemies. So we're out here.
Yeah.
By the way, all you pissants on Twitter sending me messages. Oh, I thought you said that Sean McVay was going to resign. Marcus, what was the caveat that we said on Friday?
We told people that if the Rams did not make it to the Super Bowl, if,
but they did.
All the words.
They did. See, the thing is,
you have that. The comprehension is very important. Just like back when you were in school, reading comprehension test. Some people can read, but they can't comprehend. Apparently, a lot of you out here can't comprehend.
I want the version of the Twitter app that gives people the ability to see what they want to see and not reality, because I need to get that.
I wish I had that, like in life. This is great because my kids do it too, especially my oldest one. She's famous for this, of not remembering what I said 5-7 minutes ago. I wish I could have that like remote. We're like, oh, I didn't say that. Hold on 1 second. I hit the remote and it goes back in time and shows immediately what I already said.
Mm-hmm.
It's important.
It's very important. Reading comprehension.
Yeah, comprehend, please.
So that was. I just had to get that out at the top. It had to happen. But
Sunday.
Let's get
Sunday
into it.
Football Sunday, Championship Sunday. Now we start to begin the withdrawal of football. This was, I mean, again, I hate making these statements because it just, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but I don't remember a playoffs this good in a very long time as far as competitive football games and games coming down the wire.
I have had people that are significantly older than I am, significantly older than you are, tell me that last weekend was the best weekend of football they've ever seen.
Good. I'm glad.
And that this weekend, piggybacked off of last weekend, was the best back-to-back football weekend they've ever seen either.
Well, that makes me feel good because that's how I feel. But again, like I said, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment.
There's people that I've talked to, people that are significantly older than you, significantly older than me, and people in their 60s, even in their 70s, that have said the same sentiment to me about that this is the best football they've ever seen.
Yeah, this was really, really good. Last weekend, obviously, we covered that already. And this weekend was, again, it did piggyback right off of it. Start with the first game, Bengals Chiefs. Mm-hmm. Chiefs get off to a great start, which in typical Andy Reid fashion, as we know, so good at his game plan, so good at that script, get off to a big time start. They're up 21-3. But I said to myself, when the Chiefs got up 21-3, I said to myself, I know there is going to be a moment in this game that the Chiefs leave an opening because we've seen Andy Reid for 13 years. We know how he operates. We know there's going to be a spot where he's going to make a mistake. It's if you can capitalize off the mistake. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, 5 seconds left in the first half, the mistake is made. Mm-hmm. This is one of the most egregious mistakes that I have ever seen.
Let me back you up a little bit first, because it's actually that mistake is compounded by the timeout that they lost during the first drive.
Right.
Because if you see on the replay, they showed Mahomes is trying to call a timeout.
Yeah.
And they don't have any.
Right.
So it's compounded by that initial blunder.
Well, here's the thing though, and this is a job of a coach, right? A job of a head coach sometimes is to protect your players from themselves, especially your best player. This is what separates Belichick from all the rest. Because what Reid should have done when it got to 5 seconds left, you don't have any timeouts left. You get the 5 seconds left. Mahomes says, hey, big fella, let's do one more. You say, no, the number is not 1, it's 3. Get the field goal right out there. Kick the field goal, go into halftime up 14. You're still feeling good about yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't allow your best player to dictate what you should be doing, what you know is best. Yep. Input is okay, but sometimes, again, like I said, you've got to protect them from themselves.
Yep.
Belichick would have done that. Brady might have done the same thing and said, hey, one more. Belichick would have said, no, field goal, Rooney, get out there. We need the points. And then what happens, instead of driving at the end of the game to win the game, you're driving to tie the game. Mm-hmm. And that 3 points was huge. You don't like in that situation like that, 5 seconds left. Even if I had a timeout, I'm still not running a play 5 seconds left because anything really could go wrong. It just doesn't make sense. You're at the goal line. It's the first half. I'm up 11. Let's just go up 14 and go in the locker room feeling good about ourselves. And also too, and then on top of that, you trust your quarterback who makes a really poor decision and doesn't throw the ball into the end zone, throws the ball into the flat. I don't care who's out there. I don't care if Jesus Christ himself is out in the flat. I'm not throwing the ball. It has to go in the end zone. Throws in the flat, and then Eli Apple makes the play and tackles him before he gets to the end zone, and time runs out. So now you give the Bengals a little momentum. And you know what you can't do with Joey franchise? You can't give Joby-Wan Kenobi any kind of momentum at all, which they did. So Joe Burr comes out in the second half and says, okay. And also, too, someone please give Tony Romo an offensive coordinator job. Like, I honestly feel like his commentary has regressed a little bit.
It definitely has.
I don't think it's where it was.
No, it definitely has regressed a little bit.
It's not like the stuff that was so organic with him to the first season is now becoming kind of a character. And I think he's starting to try a little too hard. I think he's actually starting to annoy Jim Nantz. I think Nantz is starting to be like, all right, dude, enough. However, Tony Romo knows offensive football. He made an excellent point about the way the Bengals run their offense. And the second half, it's almost like they adopted what he said. What they were doing in the first half was they were being way too predictable on first down. And they were running the ball a lot on first down, and they weren't really getting any yardage, so they ended up in the 2nd and 9s, 3rd and 8s. And also with Jamar Chase, the Chiefs devised a plan with Steve Spagnuolo. We're not going to allow Jamar Chase to beat us. So what are we going to do? We are going to make sure Jamar Chase is double-teamed whenever there's an obvious passing down. So how do you beat that? Tony Romo says you need to throw the ball on first down. They can't double-team him on first down. They still have to, at some point, honor the run. The Bengals did that in the second half and got some big plays out of it. They didn't do it. They still ran the ball a little bit too much on first down, but they were definitely less predictable, and it started to open up, and you saw Jamar Chase be way more effective in the second half than the first half. I would hire Tony Romo as offensive coordinator yesterday. He has a great feel for the game. And I mean, whatever he's talking offensive football, that's where he shines.
See, here's the thing: is he'll never take that job, though.
No, why would you?
He's in way too cushy of a position right now.
Mm-hmm. I agree. The travel, the game planning, but I feel like he's definitely. It might be some hard conversations at CBS with him this summer. He might, for the first time, get some criticism. That's okay. He may need that to get him back on track. I don't think he's bad. I just don't think he was where he was in 2019. Like that like when he came on the scene, he was incredible. And he had a great feel. But I think now, again, like I said, I feel like his commentator is becoming kind of cartoonish a little bit. He's getting a little too excited. Like it's not coming across natural anymore. It's just coming across kind of forced. But they can work on that, and I'm sure he'll be fine going forward. But he has a great offensive mind. But again, guys, listen,
hold on, real quick.
I hate to be a broken record, but let me cut that record in half real quick, because this is what it looks like when you have a franchise quarterback.
Hold on, because I know we're going to dive into quarterback talk right now.
Yeah.
Did you hear about Troy Aikman?
What did Troy do?
He might be leaving Fox.
To do what?
Hey, Sean McVay made it to the Super Bowl, didn't he?
I don't like that move for him, if that's the case. I think, listen, if this was 15 years ago, Monday Night Football is a step up. I don't think it's a step up in 2022.
I don't either. But what if they're viewing him? Because would you say that
unless they're going to throw the book, unless you're going to throw
the bank at him?
And that would make me really sad. I love Buck and Aikman together. I love them together. Like they're a great, great team together. I like them together a lot. And it is. I do believe and subscribe to the fact that as a color commentator, you're only as good as your play-by-play guy. And like if you have not that Monday Night Football, they've definitely gotten Levy is definitely better than they've had in years past, but he's not Al Michaels. He's not Joe Buck. He's not Jim Nantz. He's not Pat Summerall. He's not any of those guys. And Buck and Aikman have such great chemistry. And I will say the opposite of Romo and Aikman, where I like the fact that Aikman seems to be loosening up a little bit this year, way more than he has in the past. Like he's always been really good, but he's also been really straight. And Buck is a little looser and cuts loose a little bit more. But I like the fact that I feel like Aikman is now going along with that a lot more. I think he's making for a lot better broadcast. I don't like that for him at all. Like, listen, if they throw the brain stroke at him, I get it. I don't like it though.
Just don't give me more Chris Collinsworth, please.
Yeah, I don't hate Chris Collinsworth as much as other people do.
See, part of the reason why I think my hatred for him is higher than most people, or at least I should say higher than you, is because for a couple years he was the voice of Madden. So every time I would play, I would hear him and just hear him, and oh my God, that is what made me start playing Madden on mute and listening to music while I play.
Yeah, I mean, this, again, I hate to be a broken record, but this is what a franchise quarterback looks like and what a franchise quarterback can do for you and do for your team.
Accelerate the process.
Overall, has no business being in the Super Bowl. That offensive line is absolutely horrible. Once again, I fear for Joe Burrow's life 2 weeks from now because of, and we'll obviously break down that. But the idea that offensive line will be going against Aaron Donald and Von Miller is already starting to give me night terrors. I don't like that at all for Joe Burrow.
Well, the opening line is -4 for the Rams.
Ooh, that's low. But you know what? We'll get into that with them later. I get it because of we'll get into that. We'll talk about the Rams in a little bit. But yeah, it's just Joe Burrow has literally resurrected this franchise.
The city.
He's
forget the franchise. The entire city.
Economy. He's gonna be for the Cincinnati Bengals what LeBron James was for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like,
and
he's going to do work for their
economy. From Ohio. Like he's a hometown Ohio guy.
It's the same vibe as LeBron. And, you know, he's embraced that. And it's cool because Zach Taylor's embraced that. They've all embraced that. They had a really cool story on the Bengals on NFL Countdown. And, you know, the idea of them going into the bars and giving the footballs, the game-winning footballs, and how like they started that tradition and like it was a preseason game, it was like 5 people in there. Now the bars are packed again. Cincinnati Bengals are a really cool story, and I'm really, really happy that they're in the Super Bowl for a couple reasons. Number one, it's very easy to root for them to the point where it's actually funny. I was cheering for them like it was an Eagles game. My kids come running downstairs like, Dad, I thought the Eagles aren't in the playoffs anymore. I was like, they're not. Like, you sound really excited. I was like, I don't want to talk about it. Because like, I was making me feel a little guilty because I don't usually do that. Usually I'll watch a game and I'll have a rooting interest, but nothing like I'm rooting for Cincinnati and Joe Burrow. But anyway, that was one reason why, because it's a feel-good story. The other reason was, I want to talk about this a little bit, is the Kansas, it's interesting about what's happening to the Kansas City Chiefs, how they're becoming like America's most wanted. And Patrick Mahomes has become a villain, which is wild. But I
don't think it's his own personal doing.
Right. It's and because of his wife and because of his brother.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what's interesting about that is that they and like if I'm Patrick Mahomes, I'm having a serious come to Jesus meeting with both of them about how they're affecting his brand. Because Patrick Mahomes should not be a villain.
No.
But he is.
I have long said that if I was in the public eye like they are,
mm-hmm.
those people around me, my inner circle,
mm-hmm.
you don't have social media.
Well, here's the problem.
If I find out you have social media, you are now no longer in that circle.
You're a throwback, because here's the problem with 2022. Here's the deal about where we're at in 2022 and why I hate it here is the fact that now you can get famous. You can be a centipede. You can get famous because I'm famous. That wasn't a thing 25 years ago. Like, we don't know Michael Jordan's siblings. Like, who's checking for Larry Jordan? Nobody's checking for Larry Jordan. Nobody's checking.
I didn't even know he had siblings.
Yeah. Well, Larry, I know a story where Larry's older brother, and Larry's the one that he competed with. But like, my point is, who's checking for Larry Jordan? Who's checking for?
I'm going to see if he even has a Twitter.
What's that?
I'm going to see if he even has a Twitter.
Yeah. Who's checking for his kids? Who's checking for anyone really in his circle? But in 2022, you can be Jackson Mahomes and have no impact on your brother's celebrity at all. Not impact. have no reason to have an impact on your brother's celebrity. You could literally be a person that had nothing to do with your brother's success, but be just as successful as your brother. Jackson Mahomes in social media, he has hundreds and hundreds of thousands. What does that mean? He has hundreds and hundreds of followers. I'll tell you what it means. It means he has brand endorsements. It means that he's getting paid to post. It means that he's making money off of his brother's success. Now, there are people that have done that behind the scenes for years. We know these guys have entourages. They may have jobs. You know, LeBron's entourage, legendary of Rich Paul, agent, Maverick Carter. These guys get jobs. That's always been a thing. But to be a face and not be doing anything, that's different. We've never really seen that before in the magnitude, except the landscape of today, where you can be a face and be doing absolutely nothing. You couldn't do that 25, 30 years ago, and that's one of, again, the byproducts of social media. So I'm really happy. If I'm Patrick Mahomes, I'm sitting those two down, and we're figuring this out, because it's gotten to the point now where it was literally America versus the Kansas City Chiefs yesterday. Like, I don't know anybody that did not live in Kansas City, that didn't live in Kansas City, that were rooting for Kansas City. They were persona non grata. Everyone was pulling hard for Joe Shiesty. Everyone was pulling hard for Burrow, and the Bengals get the job done. And
looked on
another thing.
If you looked on social media, everybody was saying, Joe Burrow saved us from 2 weeks of Brittany and Jackson Mahomes.
Yep.
Not, we don't want to see Patrick play anymore. It's we're so glad we don't have to deal with his wife and his brother.
Because listen, Patrick Mahomes still makes plays that make your jaw drop. He had a couple. The touchdown throw to Travis Kelce yesterday was absurd, but all the other stuff is taking away from these things now.
Now let me pose this question to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which one do you think is a harder conversation? Because I think it's not the one that you would think it is. Which one do you think is a harder conversation to have, Brittany or Jackson? If you're
harder conversation to have is with your wife.
I disagree.
No, it's definitely a harder conversation, because here's the problem. Here's the deal with her, is that, see, when you enter into a marriage, it's not just like I do me, you do you. You're entering into a business relationship. If you have a proper marriage, what mine is yours is a real thing. Like that's just what it is. It's not you have you, I have me, we don't meet. So him sitting down to her and saying, babe, I'm gonna need you to relax on the tweets. I'm gonna need you to not spray the fan base with champagne after games. I'm gonna need you to chill. That's a tough conversation and a huge ego hit.
Let me give you my reason why I think it's easier for that.
Okay.
I believe she has more going on than, like you said, spraying champagne and and everything, with the tweets and all that.
Yeah.
If you take that away from Jackson, what does he got?
Take the tweets away? What do you mean?
If you say, off social media to Jackson Mahomes.
Uh-huh.
Then what?
He doesn't have anything going for him. He's a child. He doesn't have anything going for him.
So that's why I think it's an easier conversation to have with your wife, because you can sit down and say, look at these things that are happening. You need to chill out. And she's got more going on. She can do other things. Jackson, if you do that, he's going to throw a fit, go on Snapchat, talk about, how you're being all sorts of things. He's going to basically Aaron Rodgers you like he does with his family. That's why I think it's much harder, because Jackson has much less going for him than Brittany does.
Yeah, you're talking about the idea, the thing, like the actual things that they're doing, where I'm talking about the literal conversation. Like telling her this, telling your wife, yo, you need to go sit down somewhere. Like that's a hard conversation to have with someone that's supposed to be your partner. And like, yeah, you're right. She has way more going on, and hopefully she's mature enough to handle that conversation. But it might be an ego bruise. But Jackson Mahomes too, like, because he's moving like you. I don't know if you heard about the restaurant incident.
Yeah.
What, 2 or 3 months ago?
Yep.
In the restaurant incident, and they actually lambasted him on social media. Good for them. And the guy just seems to have no clue. You know, the Sean Taylor incident last year, where he was in Washington and he talk on Sean Taylor's logo, which was people found highly disrespectful, as they should. The restaurant incident where this is a mom and pop restaurant in Kansas City, and he walks in like he owns the place and gets mad at them that they can't accommodate 35, 50 people, you know.
At the drop of a hat.
Drop of a hat, because he's Jackson Mahomes, who again has done absolutely nothing but beat Patrick Mahomes' brother. But again, this is where we're living. This is the like, you know, the world we live in, where everyone, I'm gonna say everyone has a voice. The wrong people have voices. That's why I'll put it that way. The wrong people are giving voices, and everyone can feel like a celebrity, which is a dangerous world to live in. Everyone shouldn't be allowed to have that privilege. It's a privilege to be a celebrity, and if you're a celebrity, it's the reason why, because you have done something successful. That's how it was. But now you could have done absolutely nothing, but still get yourself some sort of clout and some sort of fame. So it's interesting, like, that he's become. Also, too, I think Tyreek Hill, as talented as he is, he's not a likable guy.
No.
He's a guy you root against. They just have a lot of guys on there that you root against. And it's interesting, you know, Andy Reid, he got a Super Bowl, good on him. And that definitely did something for his legacy. However, him being tied with Patrick Mahomes, you're going to have games like yesterday where it's a game that they should have won, and they don't win because your coach does something boneheaded. And also your coach can't adjust. It's a lot of things we went through here in Philly. The only difference between the Super Bowl there and just the 5 championship games here is Patrick Mahomes and Don McNabb. Patrick Mahomes is so good, he overcame Andy Reid's deficiencies. Because listen, even in Kansas City, he's blown leads. He blew a lead to the Titans a couple years ago. I mean, he blew that huge lead to Andrew Luck and the Colts with Alex Smith.
Listen, hold on. He's been to 9 conference championship games.
Mm-hmm.
9.
Mm-hmm.
How many rings does he have?
1.
How many?
1.
Okay.
And he's only won what, 3 conference championships? 3?
Mm-hmm. He's 3-6.
Yeah, and honestly, what I look at in those 9 games is how many times he was a favorite. They were the favorite against the Buccaneers in 2002.
Big favorite.
Favorite against the Panthers in 2003.
Yep.
They were the favorite against the Falcons. They won that game in 2004. They were maybe a slight underdog to the Cardinals in 2008. I don't remember.
2001, they were definitely the underdogs.
Definitely underdogs in 2001. They were underdogs. It's probably like a 2 or 3 at Arizona in 2008. And then you go forward to Kansas City. They were home. They've been in home championship games every time and favored in all of them.
I don't know if they were favored against the Patriots, though.
They probably were. They probably were 1 or 2. I would say they were 1 or because home you get 3. It's at Arrowhead. I would figure there'd be at least a 1 or 2.
So I'm about to make a blasphemous comment about Arrowhead Stadium. Okay. I've seen it with my own eyes. Never been inside of it, but I've seen Arrowhead multiple times.
Yeah.
Unimpressed.
Looking from the outside, it gives me Veterans Stadium vibes.
Unimpressed. Very unimpressed.
Like, as far as the look of it,
it's supposed to be this one of the loudest stadiums. Now, Chiefs fans are great fans, great fan base. I'm not taking anything away from the Chiefs fans.
Yeah.
They travel, they have fans everywhere. I'm not that impressed with Arrowhead. I'll be honest with you, I'm really not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's more.
And the Royal Stadium, which is they're right next to each other, similar to how the Phillies and the Link is.
Yeah.
One of the most uniquely looking stadiums from the outside I've ever seen. The Kansas City Royals. But yeah, Arrowhead's not impressed. It actually, what did you say? You said it gives you vet vibes. Honestly, it kind of looks like the same design as the Link, where it has those wide sloping sides that are open on the edges. It's very it actually kind of looks like the
I
Link.
wouldn't say the Link is necessarily a beautiful looking stadium.
Link is ugly as hell.
Yeah.
Let's just call it like Link is ugly. And I wish that, I mean, I understand, what was the Link? 03, I believe?
03.
So what, it's coming up on 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
They've got at least another 10 to 15 years before they start looking for a new stadium, I'd assume.
Yeah.
Please, Jeffrey Lurie, a dome.
Well, I think they want to do that because
they want a Super Bowl.
And New York got it back in 14. But that's New York.
But you also got to remember that wasn't a dome.
I regret doing the Colts Super Bowl anyway.
Yeah. This Don's feeling good right now. The second segment's going to be wild.
So, anyway, I'm gonna wrap up that. But like, Patrick Mahomes' legacy could definitely be affected that his horse is tied to Andy Reid, because this is going to happen again. We're going to have games going forward. They're going to be in this position again, and can they close the deal? And can Patrick Mahomes overcome Andy Reid's clock management? Can he overcome Andy Reid's debacles in the second half of games of not being able to adjust? Can he overcome those things to win? It's a hard thing to do.
And I mean, you got to assume that Patrick Mahomes will have another coach at some point in his career. He will not have Andy Reid the whole time, I don't believe.
No.
We not today, obviously, but we will have to get into the Eric Bieniemy discussion.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta like. I mean, when it comes to Reid and Mahomes, it's just Reid's been so good for him because Reid is an incredible developer of quarterback talent.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's been a huge beneficial relationship. However,
you have to ask yourself, what would Mahomes look like without Reid?
Right. Because
he's got the tools that he'd be a good quarterback, a great quarterback anywhere. But there's levels to greatness. Right.
He was definitely a diamond in the rough, and Reid molded him. So definitely give Reid the credit for all of that. But now you're in that phase where it's like, okay, you're now might be costing and hurting my legacy. So where do we go from here? So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm sure the Chiefs will be back next year. I didn't see them going to the Super Bowl this year. I didn't think it was going to happen this way, but I didn't think they were going to the Super Bowl this year anyway. So I'm not really surprised they didn't make it. But when you're up 21-3, you got to close that out.
Bold prediction. Chargers win the AFC West next year.
I mean, I don't know, but that's a very bold prediction. We'll see. Well, I know if the Don Julio's talking, we'll see.
No, Justin Herbert. It's the Herbert effect. I've seen enough from Joe Burrow in this playoffs that I need Justin Herbert to go out there and back this up for me.
He has to, because Burrow, Joey franchise is in the Super Bowl. First time a quarterback that was drafted one in the draft takes their team to the Super Bowl second year. Never happened before.
Never has a player won the Heisman, the national championship, and the Super Bowl, and Joe Burrow has a chance to do that in the 3-year span.
And the reason why it's so hard to do is because usually when you're drafted one, it's because your team is really, really bad.
Your team sucks. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Bengals are not a good team.
They're a good team. They're just not. They shouldn't be in a Super Bowl.
They're not a great team. They're not a world-beating team.
No,
they're not. They drafted number 1 and number 5 overall the last 2 years.
Right.
They're not.
Burrow was that good.
Yes.
I mean, they're a good team, but they shouldn't be in the Super Bowl.
Did you hear what he said when asked about his chain?
No.
Did you see the chain he was wearing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They asked him about the chain, and some reporter was like, "Are your diamonds real?" He's like, "Hell yeah, they're real. I make too much money for them to be fake."
Love that guy. I love that guy. I love his confidence. A reporter, I forget her name, she said that she was talking to him like off the side, and he says, "Yo, if I went to the NBA, I could put up 12 to 15." And she's like, "I knew that Joe Burrow was gonna be assessed with that irrational confidence."
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, going to the second game, Rams, Niners. Mm-hmm. Game was way closer than it should have been. Yeah. The Rams did everything in their power to make sure you did not wear sunglasses and a Hawaiian shirt today. They really that
didn't want me to have
been like closer to a blowout in the first half. They had so many opportunities to do that, And this is what you worry about them going forward, is their ability to allow teams to hang around. Like, the Rams are far too talented to be playing in games that are this close.
On paper, they should be blowing teams out by 17 to 21 a game.
Blowing the doors off. They're way too talented. You got Beckham and Kupp and Jefferson on your outsides. You have Higbee down the middle. Stafford's at your quarterback. You guys should be putting up 35, 40 a game, no question. The defensive line is stout. The back end, very, very good. Jalen Ramsey dropped, I think, 2 interceptions yesterday. They
one of them a clear pick 6.
Right.
Clear pick 6.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Eli Apple. Going back to game 1 real quick, he dropped one.
Oh,
in overtime.
He going wild on Twitter this week.
What happened?
He went wild on Twitter last week. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, he was talking about how Saints fans are morons, Giants fans are morons, Bengals have the best fans in the NFL, and that how he was going to take Tyreek Hill and Hardman to lunch when they played him. He was going crazy on Twitter this week.
Eli Apple returns.
Now,
we haven't heard from him.
Played a terrible game.
That way.
Make no mistake, Apple played a terrible game. He got burned by Tyreek for the first touchdown. He got burned by Mecole for the third touchdown. He played a terrible game.
I give him credit, though, for he made that tackle on Tyreek Hill.
He made that tackle on Tyreek Hill. Now, they won the game.
Yeah.
But he played terrible.
He dropped that interception in overtime. Patrick Mahomes serves one up, throws it right to him. It's a pick 6, game over.
My funniest thing about Eli Apple is his mom dropped him off to training camp when he was a Giant.
Love it. Hometown boy. Love it. That's awesome. So anyway, they did everything in their power to make this game close.
Yep.
But again, you see how hard it is to get to that ultimate goal if you have a so-so quarterback, where Jimmy Garoppolo is.
I said going into the fourth quarter, I was watching the game, and I said, it's just a matter of time until Garoppolo throws up on himself.
Yep.
And what happened?
He tried to. He threw the ball across his body a couple times. That's what I meant. It should have been a couple picks. He made some really awful reads a couple times that they didn't capitalize on that they should have. And
with his terrible challenges. Both of them.
Yeah.
The second one. Now, admittedly, I did not see the play in its entirety on the second one. All I saw was Aaron Donald had the ball and running. Mm-hmm. So usually whenever I see Aaron Donald with the ball, I just make the assumption.
Right.
But the second one, like he really almost ran into trouble with 10 minutes and 1 second left. I believe that's when he threw the challenge flag.
Yeah.
The second one. With 10 minutes left, you're down with no timeouts. Sean McVay needs to do a little bit better job in the Super Bowl as far as clock management and knowing what's going on. Because if you go back and think about the Super Bowl they played against the Patriots, obviously that game was boring as hell.
Terrible.
Sean Payton did not have a good coached game in that Super Bowl either. He did not have a great coached game in this NFC Championship. So now you're starting to look, the narrative on Sean McVay is slowly starting to become the bigger the game, the less intricate the game plan is becoming. So he needs to have a better game coaching for the Rams if they're going to do something. Because right now, that Bengals defense is playing out of this world.
Yeah.
I don't care who the offensive coordinator is of the Rams. Sean McVay is the play caller and what makes that offense go. I don't care who the offensive coordinator is.
Right. So, looking at that game, the Super Bowl, and again, we're not going to get into it too much today, but it's definitely probably going to be a close game because at the end of the day, the Rams have a hard time putting anybody away.
And Burrow just comes from behind.
The more I think about it, even though I am scared for his life because of that defensive line, the Bengals, the Rams are a perfect opponent for the Bengals for Joe Burrow, because even if the Rams go off to a hot start, they go up 17-3, 24-3, 24-6, they're going to allow the Bengals to hang around. And
Burrow will always throw from behind.
Yep.
When they're behind, they're going to throw. That was my logic behind taking the Bengals plus 7.5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love them. I thought that was a lot of points for them. I love that. I was a little freaked out defensively for them, but like, yeah, I like the plus 7 on that.
if the Bengals win, do we take the show to Cincy and do a Joe Burrow appreciation show?
I'm in.
It's about a 7 to 8 hour ride to Cincinnati.
I'm there. I can do it. I can do it to go see Joey franchise. So
You have to talk to the powers that be and see what happens.
yes. So Rams get the job done. They pulled out. The Niners had a hard time scoring points, and I don't know what Trey Lance is going to be. I think no one does, but I think for them, Jimmy G is not the answer for them.
Mm-hmm. Let me pose a question to you about Kyle Shanahan. NFC title game, 10-point lead, blunders it.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes, 10-point lead, blunders it.
But the thing is that fair? Is that fair? Because Jimmy G was your quarterback both times, and both times there were plays to be made.
Who was the offensive coordinator for 28-3?
Shanahan. I don't know. I mean, but you're up 28-3. The defense at some point got to get some stops for you.
Yeah, but you can't throttle it down.
And yesterday, that fourth quarter,
I mean,
Jimmy didn't make any play. He didn't do anything.
No, he didn't. But
Nothing.
what makes you think Trey Lance is going to do something?
That's my point. I don't know that, and like I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I have no idea.
Shanahan hates Trey Lance.
I have no idea how good.
I think Shanahan hates Trey Lance.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how good Trey Lance is going to be. I don't know. I can't predict that. But all I know is they need to do better than Jimmy Garoppolo. It needs to be better than that.
Sight unseen, would you trade for Trey Lance to take over for Jalen Hurts? Sight unseen?
No. Because I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know how good he can be. And I'm hesitant to take anyone from North Dakota ever again.
Yes. Now,
but I have no idea how good. Well, I know. No, that's not true. I know his potential, but I have no idea if he's
going to reach it,
actually materialize.
So here's the thing: Kyle Shanahan, as an offensive gifted as he is, and how innovative his mind works, you haven't seen Trey Lance take a snap in like 2 months. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Well, I mean, I think he also doesn't want to throw him into the wolves now. Like you can't.
You can come up with gimmick and gadget plays just so he can see the field. He needs to see. He has 1 year starting at a Division II school.
Yeah.
He needs to see the field. They can't touch him in practice. He needs live bullets flying around him. Even if it's a gadget gimmick play where he fakes it and he runs up the left for 5 yards, he needs to get out there and see it. And the fact that you haven't seen him in 2.5 months should tell you everything you need to know about what they see from him in practice.
I mean, maybe in the regular season I do that. I'm not doing that in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, but you haven't seen him since like week 8.
No, he played in January. He played 3 weeks ago. He played against the Texans. He started against the Texans when Jimmy G was out. That was like 3 weeks ago. This 3 weeks to a month ago. He started against Texans.
He did, and before that, he hadn't played since October 10th.
Right, but because Jimmy G was starter.
But I'm saying you didn't even. But I'm saying he hasn't accumulated any stats between then. It hasn't even been a gimmick play. It hasn't even been one of those where they bring Vic in and let McNabb stand next to him. It has been nothing.
Right.
And for a guy who has wheels, and Jimmy G is not a mobile guy. He's mobile enough to where he won't get himself killed back there, but he's not a runner. Trey Lance can move. 6'5", big arm, fast.
Yeah.
He's a bigger, faster Colin Kaepernick. Why are we not even seeing him on some gimmick plays?
I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, I guess next year we'll see what happens next year. Because next year, like I think you've gone as far as you can go with Jimmy Garoppolo. You see what you can do with Jimmy Garoppolo. You see the ceiling. It's kind of like it's very similar to Alex Smith. You see the ceiling. You see where you're at with him. Now it's time to try something else. And Trey Lance should be that something else. That's why you drafted him. So we'll see how that works. But let's take a break.
Pay some bills.
On the other side, we are going to obviously get to our facts.
Yep.
And we're going to also get in some big versus talk.
Some music.
I'm waiting to talk about this. It's been a couple days. I want to break this down and talk about that. You have a question about throwbacks I want to get into that I'm very excited to talk about. You also watched some hockey?
I did. I was snowed in at the Borgata, and there was nothing else on besides some puck.
So we get a little hockey update with Justin Emery.
We do.
Excited for that. And who knows? Brad in the morning, Marques, Brown, Justin Emery. We'll be right back.
Looking for authentic Mexican food close to home? Great news. District Taco is just around the corner in Abington, Pennsylvania, and they'd love to fiesta with you. Offering delicious fish tacos, a California burrito stuffed with guac, steak, fries, and chipotle mayo, plus sweet, crispy churros. District Taco has it all. Try out the newest location and come back for more. Get 10% off your first in-app order with promo code BREMI10. Always fresh, always Mexican, District Taco.
Relationship can be tough, and finding that special someone can be even tougher. So when it's time to make a decision on what to do with the ring, you don't want to have that be tough too, right? Hi, I'm Marques Brown. I want to talk to you guys, my friends at Vans Jewelers, located at 13 South York Road in the heart of Hatboro. Back in 2017, when I decided to get engaged, there was only one choice for me. Going into Vans Jewelers, I was quite nervous, but they put me at ease right away with their friendly staff and their easy selection. They have selections for any budget. Rings, watches, chains, earrings, you name it, they got it. They also offer free ultrasonic cleaning and stone checks on any ring. Vans Jewelers also provides cleanings while you wait every Tuesday through Friday. What else do you want? You can't beat it. Go see my friends at Vans Jewelers, located again at the heart of Hatboro, 13 South York Road.
Justin here. Let me tell you about my friends over at Beef Jerky Outlet. A family-owned business, Sharon and Michael have the best jerky around. They have a huge selection to choose from, but always make sure to try my personal favorite, the Honey Barbecue Turkey Jerky. Don't think they only have jerky for sale. They also have the best supply of sauces, marinades, and rubs for all of your new recipes. Located at 110 Lincoln Highway, right by Oxford Valley Mall. Head on over there, go in and say, yo, Justin sent me.
Every Friday, we're bringing you bits. But it's especially hilarious to me knowing what I've seen happen in McDonald's locations over the years. Hell, what I've done in McDonald's locations over the years.
Hits. Always winterize your pipes. I think that is such a funny...
And everything in between. Nah, see, it's the opposite. You don't see it, and he was totally about eating that baby. We are Twitty and the Brand. We're going to ruin something that you love. New episodes weekly on all your favorite podcast streamers.
Yeah, man. Welcome back. Brown in the morning. Marques Brown, Justin Emery.
Yo. I'm out of my dress-up attire now.
I see you back.
Yeah, we can now get down to serious conversation.
Okay.
Facts of the day, January 31st. There's actually not too much going on today. But there are a few. First off, 1971, Apollo 14 departs for the moon. You ever been to Cape Canaveral down in Florida?
I have not.
I have. I was young.
After this weekend, I'm not going to Orlando ever again.
What's that?
After this weekend, I'm not going to Orlando ever again.
Wow, what happened in Orlando?
If you know, you know. We'll talk about it off the air.
Oh, really?
It's not a political show.
Oh, okay.
If you know, you know.
All right. Does it involve Red Hat Guy?
Similar. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Say no more. Orlando, you said?
Yes.
All right. Avoid Orlando. Noted. 1988.
Yeah.
Doug Williams leads then Redskins to a Super Bowl victory.
Yeah. Big. I mean, really, like the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Huge deal.
How many touchdowns did he score that game?
Say it again.
Do you know how many touchdowns he scored that game?
Him personally?
Yes.
I don't. Wow.
4.
Dougie.
It was then a record. I'm not sure if it still is, but at the time in 88, it was a record at that point in time for a Super Bowl.
Wow.
And then 1990, the first McDonald's opens in the Soviet Union.
McDonald's. Worldwide.
Yep. And then we got a couple of shout-out happy birthdays today.
Okay.
January 31st. Happy 41st birthday, Justin Timberlake. JT.
They're actually, I don't know if you've been watching or are going to watch, guys out there. Huge Janet Jackson documentary this weekend. I've gotten to the first 2 parts already, and apparently in the 3rd and 4th part, she's going to discuss the Super Bowl incident with JT.
Did
so
not
I'd see that. It's been really good so far.
103rd birthday to Jackie Robinson.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Jackie Robinson.
And 75th birthday to Nolan Ryan.
Oh, okay. Do you think you still get the fastball above 50?
Oh, easy. That man can throw 65 in his sleep. Even today.
That man was out here looking like somebody's father throwing 99 miles an hour.
It was
horseshoe haircut.
And he retired at age 30. No, I'm sorry. That was Sandy Koufax. Never mind. That was the fact the other day.
Ryan was around till like his mid 40s.
Yeah, never mind. It was Sandy Koufax retired when he was
gas at 46.
Oh, dude, he was
gas. So before we get to your hockey thing, I did forget one more thing in the segment.
Okay.
So it was announced on Saturday, I believe it was. Saturday it came out that Tom Brady was retiring from football after 22 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It broke everywhere. TMZ picked up the story, so that's how you know it's real. Because TMZ usually, when they get involved in something, it's usually like a 99.9% chance it happened. And
say what you want about TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
They're seldom wrong.
Right.
And a lot of that is because they wait until they know the story's correct.
Right. And they're usually still, even though they wait, they're usually still in the top tier of reporting the story. Again, like I told you guys before, that was where I found out about Kobe. The first time I heard about Kobe 25, 30 minutes before a lot of other people because I had TMZ app. But interesting stuff happening. So first the story's reported. Everyone starts kind of reacting to it on Twitter, reacting to it, around the world. It gets picked up. ESPN, Adam Schefter reported the story. Then Tom's people start to come out and dispute the story. First, his manager comes because Tom's actually out of overseas right now. I guess probably vacationing with his family, but he's overseas right now. So his manager comes out and disputes the story. Also, his dad comes out and says no decision's been made. And Bruce Arians came out and said they have not been informed of any sort of retirement as of right now. Then NBA Countdown comes on, and they still are running with the story. I saw Adam Schefter on Sunday. He's still sticking by this story, doubling down. Everybody from ESPN is doubling down. I think a lot of the reasons probably because Adam Schefter is one of the first to report it, so they're protecting his credibility. My question on all this is this, is that I don't know what the right answer is here. Because from the perspective of, if let's just say for argument's sake, ESPN knows they messed up and knows that this now isn't not that they lied, but they jumped the gun a little bit. They know that now. Is it their responsibility to refute and back off? Or is it one of those things where we're so worried about people taking us seriously, if we do that, we feel like people won't and go other places for their news sources?
No.
What do you do then?
You have to correct it if you know that it's incorrect. Because if you want to remain credible, you have to know when to correct yourself. So that is number one. What it is that Adam Schefter is doubling down on the story, tripling down on the story. He's still going with it. ESPN has pretty much no choice than to back their guy. It has nothing to do with them not wanting to lose credibility. It's that I don't believe right now they have any evidence to refute it because their guy, who is one of the top guys, say what you want about Adam Schefter, he's still one of the top inside
football
breakers. Yes, no doubt about it. And Woj is the breaker of all breakers.
Right.
So make no mistake about it. If their guy's still saying, no, we're going with it, they're going to go with it. So I don't think they have any. Adam Schefter is the one who's going to have to about face. And unless Schefter abouts face, ESPN won't. Caveat, though, is if ESPN finds out contrary reporting.
Well, here's two. I think what ESPN is doing, they're kind of hedging their bets here that Brady is going to retire. So, like, if Brady ends up retiring, Schefter can say, okay, yeah, I was right. They just didn't want to say that because they weren't ready to announce it yet. Obviously, if he doesn't retire, then we know he was completely wrong.
Yes.
So that's kind of, I think, what ESPN's doing right now. They're in a position where they kind of hedge their bets a little bit. And it looked, listen, all signs, now I know I came out here and thought that he was coming back, but it looks like he is gearing up for retirement.
Yes.
That's the way things are looking. That obviously can change. That's why and the reason why I was shocked, when you sent me that text and I saw that, I was shocked because you would think for a guy that's done all that he's done, he would know to give himself a couple weeks. Because how you feel when the season first ends to how you feel in mid-February, watching the Super Bowl at home.
Unless he went into this year knowing it was last year.
You think he did?
No, I'm saying like you're correct unless he went into it knowing I'm done at the end of the year.
But even still, you still
he wouldn't have told anybody that anyway if he had made that mental decision up.
Right, but you still could change your philosophy. You still could say, okay, I feel like I'm done, and then you start doing it, and then you play, and you see how still like he's elite still.
Yeah, but I mean, you know how Brady is a guy that when he makes up his mind, he makes up his mind.
Right.
And he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who wants like Brett Favre.
Mm-hmm.
He fell off by the time he retired.
Right.
Brady doesn't want to fall off.
Right.
And I mean, he still had a fantastic season.
Yeah.
But he looked different physically out there. Like the numbers don't lie. He had a great season, but he didn't look like Brady out there all the time physically.
Yeah, I mean, him and Brett Favre to me are different. Well, again, what I always say about Brady, what separates him is his willingness to train still, and his willingness to train in the offseason and come into season prepared and ready to go. Where a lot of guys, a la Brett Favre, Vinny Testaverde, guys like that, they don't want to put that work in. And I'm by no means am I comparing Brett Favre to Vinny Testaverde. I'm just saying the older quarterbacks, you get to a certain age, you don't want to train like you did when you were 30. You don't want to do that. Brady has his desire to do that.
Obviously, part of it is health. Like Drew Brees trained like that,
right?
But his body fell apart.
Right.
Peyton Manning trained like that. His body fell apart.
Right.
So it does also help that other than the ACL injury in 2007, Brady for his whole career has been relatively healthy. Yeah.
As healthy as you can be for an NFL player, absolutely. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of weeks with this story. I'm with you. Like, I think that you have a responsibility if you know you were wrong to say you were wrong. I think people should. I'm not going to say people do, but people should respect that more than you standing by your guns and doubling down. Now, listen, if you are doubling down because you know you're right, absolutely do that.
Yes,
but you have people like his dad, Bruce Arians, the general manager, the manager, his own personal manager, all coming out and saying he has made no such decision. Come on, man. The right all that you didn't get it right.
I don't think that he's wrong. I mean, has Adam Schefter been wrong before? Hell yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think he's wrong. I think it's all about controlling the narrative. And I think that Brady wants to be the one that comes out and give his speech or whatever, his announcement, not hearing about it on a snowy Saturday afternoon.
I know it has to be a sore spot for Adam Schefter too, that if Woj doubled down, this is not even a question. Woj is right.
Yeah.
Like that's the difference between, and it has to be a hurt piece for Schefter too, that on his own network, he does basically the same things Woj does. Mm-hmm. Woj is way more respected than Adam Schefter is.
Woj is right way more.
Yeah. And I agree. But he's just considered to be not even in the same.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't even consider Adam Schefter the top NFL person.
No, me and Combs is.
As far as breaking stories?
Breaking stories, no. I'm talking about analyst?
No. Adam Schefter isn't a good analyst at all, period. He's a good reporter. He's not a good analyst. No, I agree with you. I'll give you that for well, I don't know. I really like Dan Orlovsky.
I like him too.
But either way, I'm talking about like
you go top with like for football. And this is no particular order. Kimes, Ryan Clark, Orlowski, they're all kind of like top tier to me. And then just below that, it's like Marcus Spears.
All former players besides Mina.
Right. But Mina Kimes is elite.
She is.
Absolutely elite. I love hearing her talk football. She's awesome.
Now, no, I'm talking about from a reporter standpoint. Adam Schefter sucks as a analyst. Just like I don't love Woj as an analyst.
No.
But who do you think's the top NFL guy as far as reporter? And I don't mean just at ESPN. I'm saying period.
Probably Rappaport.
Jay Glazer.
Yeah, Glazer knows his stuff. And Glazer has formed. That's because Glazer formed those relationships. Like one of his best friends, Michael Strahan. So he goes back and he opened that MMA gym. And a lot of those guys, like Jay Glazer was in Entourage, a lot, and kind of the way he played himself in Entourage was exactly the way he is. Like he opened that MMA gym.
No. Wasn't he in Ballers?
No, not Entourage.
Ballers.
Yeah. But same thing.
Same thing, just athletes to Hollywood.
That's why I got confused. But anyway, the way he played his character there, that's kind of like how he is. He opened up that MMA gym. A lot of pro athletes, especially pro football players, work out that gym. And he formed a lot of relationships over the years with guys. So, yeah, I didn't think about him. But, yeah, Jake Glazer is definitely top tier.
I think he's number one. If you're asking me to seed him, I'm giving him number one seed.
Okay. That's fair.
Schefter, in my opinion, Schefter is a 3 to 4.
I agree. I like
Woj is the number one overall seed though.
Yeah. Woj is undefeated. Woj is absolutely undefeated. I completely agree with that assessment. All right, so moving on. You watch some hockey.
I did. So I think they were playing the LA Kings, but I don't know that for a fact. Yeah, I don't remember.
We have no idea what team they were playing. We're off to a good start.
I think they were playing the LA Kings. I'm almost positive they were playing the LA Kings at home on Saturday. No, yeah, I think they were home on Saturday.
What is happening? I thought you watched this game.
I did. I watched it while I was at the Borgata.
The big wing in the middle of the logo? They did play at home because they changed. The Flyers played during the day, and the 6-player.
It was a day game.
Yeah.
So I'm snowed in at the Borgata with nothing to do. And I throw on the TV. I'm channel surfing, scrolling through. Boom, Flyers are on.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, bet. Let me watch this real quick.
And yes, they did play the Kings.
Yes. My issue, and they won. They won in overtime.
Kings, very sick logo. Kings got sick logo, sick colors.
They do. Does Mike Richards still play for them?
I don't know. I don't think so. He can't.
I don't know. He's asking a question.
Is he age up at this point? Michael Richards.
Jeff Carter. Did he play there too?
He did. He was part. They got traded there like 10 years ago.
Are they still playing?
I don't think so.
So they won in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So they got the dub.
Yeah.
But let me tell you my beef with them. They
lost
had a
45 games.
What was that?
They've lost like 45 games this year.
No, that's an issue too. But that's not my problem.
1987.
When?
1987.
What about it?
They haven't had a goaltender since like 1987.
Well, Carter Hart's good, isn't he?
I mean, he's okay.
But they had a 3-1 lead with 5 minutes and 42 seconds left, and the game went to overtime. That's my issue.
5 minutes to go in the game?
5 minutes and 42 seconds left in the third. They had a 3-1 lead.
Was Hart playing pipes?
Yes.
Was this a defense? Was this defense giving up the goals? Was it Hart giving up the goals?
I have no idea. But they gave up the goals nonetheless. So that's my issue, is that you had a 3-1 lead with under 6 minutes left, and you had to go to overtime to win the game.
Yeah, giving up 2 goals in that quick amount of time is aggressive.
At home,
yeah,
nonetheless.
Yeah, it's like blowing a 3-1 lead in baseball, bottom of the ninth or top of the ninth.
So
shouldn't do it. Is that all you got on hockey?
That's it.
All right, we're gonna move on.
That's it.
We're gonna move on.
I'm just trying to figure out like those are the kind of things that you need to correct. You need to correct little things like that, and then across the span of an 82 game season, that will permeate to more wins over time.
Flyers need to correct their entire organization. Everything from top to bottom needs to be corrected.
So from everything I hear on the radio, I hear that they need to sell the team.
Yeah, they're at the end of the day, the Flyers' biggest issue is that they are stuck in the 70s, and they've been stuck in the 70s now since the 70s. It's still 1975 down there, and the game has changed, players have changed, and they have not. And they're still way too slow. They still want to play dump and chase. Carter Hart is a immaculate talent, but you're ruining him because you're not surrounding him with the talent around him. They finally started to get rid of a lot of their veterans. Claude Giroux is still here. They got rid of Voracek and Simmons and those guys, but they should have, which was smart. But their young talent is not materializing. So that's where they're at. So I don't know. That's why we don't talk them. What are there to talk about?
They suck.
They're terrible. Moving on.
Okay.
When they become a good team and worth talking about, I promise you, I will give you some Bradham hockey talk. Until then, we're moving on.
Now, when we were doing the show rundown, I just had something that popped in my mind that we have to talk about that's not on the script.
What's that?
I finished Ozark.
Yo, yes. Spoiler alert, if you're not caught up, you might want to turn off for the next 5 minutes because we're about to have some big Ozark.
We'll give you a warning. We'll give you a long warning when we come back from the spoilers. So let's count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I stand for Ruth.
You have been warned.
I stand for Ruth, number one. I'm going to put that statement out there.
Okay. Ruth
must be protected at all cost. I love her. She's the most interesting character on the show, in my opinion. I know Marty Berg is like Jerry Seinfeld, where he's the glue that makes everything go. Obviously, I'm a huge Jason Bateman guy, but on this show, Ruth is my character. I was very worried at the beginning of the season they were setting up her demise and setting up her death. She was making a lot of mistakes. Aligning herself with Mama Snell was not the greatest of ideas.
Nope.
She was making some deals with some shady characters. Her rivalry with Wendy was starting to scare me because I thought Wendy was going to get to the point where she wanted to take her out. So I was starting to get really worried about the direction of Ruth and starting to see cracks and her demise starting. But I think she's going to make it to the end. I don't know if she's going to be alive at the end, but I'm excited she's going to make it to the end of the show because I didn't want her character to be gone before the last episode. So I'm happy about that. I love the direction of where they're going. I love that. I think Darlene had to die.
Oh, real quick.
She had to go.
Yeah, real quick about that. Mm-hmm. I hated her.
I loved her. I loved her bat-ish craziness.
I hated her, and it made me physically ill to watch her and Wyatt together.
Oh my gosh, yes, 1000%. But her character was awesome for the show as the hillbilly. I don't care. I'm growing my poppies, whatever. Also, I
thought they were going to kill her off though with the heart attack.
Yeah, that was a wrinkle because I thought
I was makes me a terrible person. I was excited that she had died of the heart attack. Like at the end of that episode, I was like, "Oh, thank God, I hated her."
I love the addition of Javi. I actually, if you guys out here haven't watched the show, definitely check it out. I know Javi from his run on Queen of the South, which was an awesome show. It was originally on USA. I watched it on Netflix. I binged it last April. It's incredible watch. Really, really good stuff about the cartel and a woman's rise to power from absolutely nothing to becoming the Queen of the South. It's a really, really great show. And Javi was a big time player in that in the later season. So I love them bringing him on. I love the addition of him as the successor to Navarro. Everything was so well done. I love the evolution also of what's the daughter's name again? Wendy's daughter. Wendy and Marty's daughter.
Oh,
Blonde. I want to say Savannah, but that's not it.
No. Oh, why can't I remember now?
I can't remember right now. It's driving me crazy.
I'll look it up. I got you.
Look that up for me. But I love the evolution of her character.
Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte. She went through the same type of things that the son is going through now with the distrust with them. And it's cool to see how they flipped it now. And she is firmly in the corner of her parents. She's almost becoming like a mini Wendy in a sense. Like she made some power moves. Like her conversation she had with the lawyer's daughter in Chicago when she looked her in the face and said, "You need to leave this alone. And if you don't, there will be consequences." That was a power move. I like her dynamic and the building of her character. The car crash is interesting in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be
last
that happens in, like, I don't think that's how it's gonna end. I think it's gonna be something that happens, an event that happens like to kind of throw us off pace a little bit in the beginning or middle. I love how they handled Ruth's death. I'm sorry, Darlene's death. Ruth finding out that Wyatt was dead.
Yeah.
I love the silence. And then into Ruth driving. All of that and the end of that, I thought they ended it great. But for me, 5 stars. I'm super excited for the next half of the season.
Yeah, I really hate Jonah. I do. Like I want to punch him in the face.
He's just well, I mean, it's what's interesting? It's hard because like they're your parents, right? You should always respect your parents. But like it's so hypocritical. I love a lot of people might not get this reference, but like I was a huge Aqua Teen Hunger Force fan.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I loved how they solved all their problems in the hot tub. It reminds me of whenever they go to the dinner table and they're eating dinner, it reminds me of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like those scenes, like of them sitting at the table. Because whenever the birds are sitting down for dinner, you know something about to pop off. Somebody's gonna say something out of pocket. Someone's gonna talk about some racketeering, a murder, something weird's about to happen at the dinner table. Like I love that dynamic of it. It's so low key hilarious.
I'm glad that you made an Aqua Teen Hunger Force reference because I always need to hear like in my head. My name is Ruler, the Mike Ruler.
Yeah, I love that show. Carl.
Oh, Carl's
goated.
Yeah.
We just lost half our audience, but I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
Adult Swim was like I used to watch Aqua Teen, Space Ghost. Do you watch Space Ghost?
No.
Oh, Space Ghost was legendary. It was basically about Space Ghost was a superhero in the 60s. And they brought him back and they had him as a talk show host. And he would actually interview like celebrities, but the show would always be in Adult Swim ridiculous fashion. Check it out. If you love Aqua Teen Hunger Force, you'd love Space Ghost.
I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Meatwad, Shake, Frylock.
Shake was a man.
As far as the second part of when it will come out, or not when it comes out, characters. Who is there anybody? Well, obviously you said Wendy. Or not Wendy. Ruth.
Yes.
Is your one who you are most intrigued about?
Yes, Ruth is my favorite character.
I am extremely curious what this private detective is going to do.
Yeah. I'm interested in him too. I was a little confused about why they were having him dig so hard, but I like his backstory. Also, too, let me ask you this question: are you seeing the similarities in the relationship of Marty and Ruth and Walt and Jesse?
Yo, I said that to myself the other day.
It's like the
episode 6, I said that to myself. I was like, these are basically. I was like, Wendy's a more likable version of Skylar.
Correct.
Jonah is kind of like Walt Jr.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Jesse is Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
The cartel is the cartel.
Yep.
And the very, very, very
what I love about the Marty Ruth Jesse Walt. The thing that drove me, like I hated Jesse Pinkman. I told you I hated him. The reason why I hated him so much is because he was looking for something that Walt was trying to give him the entire run. Like he never understood how much Walt was always trying to protect him and really did have his best interests and was trying to help the kid and did it over several things. Ruth is kind of in the same boat but Ruth's background, like Jesse actually came from a good family. He was just a burnout.
Yeah.
Where Ruth comes from complete F-ups. Like Ruth comes from a life where she's never seen love, so she doesn't know what it looks like. That's the difference. That's why I give her character a pass that I didn't give to Jesse, is that Ruth has never seen love and doesn't understand what it looks like. So she doesn't really understand how much Marty actually really does love her and care about her. And Ruth is looking for any reason not to be with Marty because she so repels love because she doesn't understand what it looks like. But Ruth loves Marty. Marty loves Ruth. They are Walt and Jesse. The awesome thing about this dynamic is Skylar was never jealous about the Walt-Jesse relationship, where Wendy, the rift between Wendy and Ruth is because they're both fighting to be that right-hand man to Marty. That's the difference. And
Skylar never wanted to, though.
Right, exactly. Ruth wants that spot. Wendy wants that spot. You can't have them both there. So that's why they're trying to push each other out and why they hate each other so much. But I think also Ruth is a way more badass version of the Jesse Pinkman character. I mean, Jesse Pinkman was a cat. Use your imagination. He was a cat. He was. Like, he was not at all a force to be reckoned with, where Ruth she's terrifying. She really is. Like, she may be 5'1", 100 pounds, but she's terrifying. Like, she's so convincing in her character. I really do believe she has a shot to take out the cartel. I believe it. I believe there's an outside shot she could actually take out Javi and really get revenge for Wyatt. That's the power of her character. Like, Jesse could have never pulled off this. Like, when he got his revenge, what did he do? He went to Hank because he couldn't do it on his own, and so he went to Hank. Ruth is not going to anybody. She got her shotgun and her minivan. Her pickup truck, and she's going to find this man herself. That's the difference in those characters. So that's why I love her, and I hated him.
Agree with everything you said.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to part 2. Really looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. Have you heard when this is coming out? I've heard conflicting reports. I've heard like maybe next year. I kind of thought it was going to be something happening quicker than that because I don't want to wait too long. Let's get this thing going. Let's get this party jumping.
Yeah, let me do some digging real quick. Let me check it out. Let's see. It's looking like May 31st.
Oh, of this year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I could do that. That works for me.
It says, though Netflix hasn't confirmed a particular release date, all indications are appearing that it's going to be released May 31st.
That works for me.
With the hopes that with that release date, it will qualify for the Emmy Awards for the year.
Now let's go through some things, okay? I'm going to ask you yes or no questions, and obviously you can elaborate on it.
Okay.
I want to hear your take.
Okay.
Let's start with the obvious. Does Ruth die?
At any point in time?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Okay, so no. Does Marty die?
So, I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
Okay. So that car accident, my prediction is that is the final scene, and that the accident is no mistake, and that it is.
You think that's the end?
Yes,
that is the end.
I think that it is not a mistake, and that it is done to completely eliminate the entire Bird family.
So you think they're all dead?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, that is enough to kill somebody. The way they flipped.
Yes, and they were all in there. They were happy They were going back to Chicago. I think that was the final scene of the last episode, and that it wasn't a mistake that accident happened.
So you mentioned them all being content in that car. So let me ask you this. What do you think is the incident that flips Jonah? Because right now, Jonah is still, he's not going to Chicago right now. He's at the hotel. He's still working for, well, he doesn't know Darlene and Wyatt are dead yet.
No.
Oh, no, yes, he does. I'm sorry. He's the one that told, I'm sorry, yeah, he does know.
Who?
He told Jonah.
Oh, you're right, he does. He
told Ruth.
He did.
So he's still not with he's still not aligned with his parents. He's still not in their camp. What flips him? What do you think can you look in the crystal ball and think of an event that's going to possibly flip him? Actually, let me rephrase that. He hates Wendy. He's still very close to Marty. You saw Marty come bail him out when Wendy set him up. So they're still fine. But what is the event that possibly could flip him back to their camp?
I think Wendy sets up Javi for Ruth to kill him.
Well, the thing about Javi is
Javi's eliminated.
Yeah.
That means Navarro can go through with his original deal. There's no wild card of Javi, and Wendy wants nothing else more than to just be released from the
I kind of thought I thought Navarro and Wendy were gonna sleep together at some point. I was getting vibes. Navarro likes her.
He does.
I don't know about it anymore. After what happened with the debacle with the FBI agent and everything.
Yeah, with her going rogue. It appears she went rogue.
Right. He walked out and said that, you disappointed me, especially you, Wendy. So I don't know how he feels about her now, but I know he was really into her before all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting about setting. I mean, yeah. Will they all work together to get Javi out? Because it really is a common enemy if you think about it.
Yeah, none of them
Marty and Wendy have everything to fear when it comes to Javi and the way he's running things. He now has the FBI in his pocket, basically because of them. And then now you have the Ruth X Factor, who's out for blood. So will they all also you got Frank Jr., who's now probably going to be an ally for Ruth going forward. So Ruth does have allies. Like her and Frank Jr. now are cool. So Frank Jr. will probably help her out with his mob connections now that he's taken over for his dad. So you'll have that aspect of it. So they all kind of form like an Avengers to try to take out Javi.
I do.
These are questions we answered.
We're asking the hard-hitting questions that we don't have the answers to.
Yeah, this is some big Ozark talk, but it needed to be done for the people. Listen, if you guys have not watched those 7 episodes, I don't know what you're doing. Get after it. It's one of those things where once you get started, you just can't put it down.
All right, real quick.
Television, the best series, in my opinion, the best series I've watched of this style since Breaking Bad. We definitely will be, when this is wrapped up this summer. It seems this summer will be wrapped up. We definitely will be having the Ozark versus Breaking Bad conversation.
Okay,
it needs to be had, and we're the 2 people for the job. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do.
I don't think they're there yet, but I think they have the ability with these next 7 episodes to get there.
Because remember, don't forget, Breaking Bad was a very slow build. Very, very slow build. Watching it back, like I've watched the series now 3 times.
The first half of season 1 is slow.
Right. I was able to I didn't get into Breaking Bad until the final season it was airing live. My buddy told me about it, and I watched the first 5 seasons up till Hank putting WW together. I binged it all. Then I watched the last half live. So for me, I have a different perspective, but I also can look and recognize that first couple seasons were slow.
Seasons. I'd say the first half, the majority of season 1 is slow.
I think the first 2 seasons were pretty slow. And also too, you also had again the title Breaking Bad. You had Walt kind of figuring out how to become a badass. Like he didn't really become a true badass till season 5. And you could point to the incident where he ran over those 2 drug dealers. and killed the one and told Jess to run, which is one of the most iconic moments in television history. That was kind of the moment where it flipped, and then he had a couple moments with the bomb with Tuco, but his real like mastermind, crazy psycho. Wow, this guy is. I really believe this guy is a terrible person and a psychopath. Wasn't until like season 5, but with Marty's a different type of character. He's not in that vein. He doesn't want to kill anybody. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. He doesn't want to do that.
He's just really, really, really good at money laundering.
Yes, right. And like Wendy is more of the Walter White variety. Like she's more built in his mold. So, you know.
I love that. I also love that guy who's their lawyer.
Say again?
I also love their guy who's the lawyer.
Yeah.
I forget what his name is, but
I like the lawyer too. It's been a really, really good watch. I'm sad to see it go, but I also believe it's time. Like I'm like it's seven episodes that's coming up. It's sad it's gonna be over, but I do believe they're doing the right thing by wrapping it.
I agree 100%. 100% agree with you. So let's bring it out of the spoiler alert. Okay, so you guys can now come back.
Yes, unmute us.
Spoilers over.
Yes.
I don't know how long that was. Probably about 20 minutes or so, give or take. But
at least a great one of the finest 20 minutes of our show. History.
Absolutely needed to happen.
Yeah.
And real quick, if you're looking for Ruth, I forget who the actress is that plays her, but she also plays a character in that Netflix miniseries Waco.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to go, she plays.
I watched that.
Did you?
I don't believe I did.
Yeah, go check. I think it's a 6-episode series about the Indians.
Yep.
Yeah. And she plays like one of the the younger like women on the show.
That makes sense. I like that for her. I hope she gets some stuff out of this because she really is awesome at what she's doing now. I feel like you know how it goes. You get typecast when you fill a role and you're really, really good at that role. Like Aaron Paul, for instance, we really haven't heard from Aaron Paul since Jesse Pinkman, and I think a lot of somebody I got typecast as Jesse Pinkman. I hope that doesn't happen to her.
So apparently, the actress that plays Ruth her name is Julia Garner, and somebody tweeted that if she doesn't come away with every TV acting award under the sun, there's no justice in this world.
I agree. I mean, she's so good at that role, and like I said, I love her character because you experience all the emotions with her, but most of it is just you feel bad for her with her upbringing, and oh my gosh, she had a bar of a bar when she was sitting with Marty, and they were drinking beer when Marty wanted to make the deal, and she says to the effect of, "God made me smart enough to realize my situation's effed up, but not smart enough to get out of the situation." Man, did that hit different for me. Like, that was a bar. That line and the way she delivered the line and her character and everything all encompassing, that line gave me absolute chills when she said that.
Oh.
What happened? What are we doing?
We need a breaking news sounder.
What happened?
Netflix has received several requests for a Ruth Langmore spinoff.
Baby, you know what? That's destination television. I would not, and I would. You know, it's funny if this was Breaking Bad, they told me I was getting Justin Pinkman spinoff, I would throw up my mouth. A Ruth Langmore spinoff, I'm in.
Well, did you see the what was it, El Camino?
I did.
Not
good.
I didn't.
Well, I
didn't think it wasn't. It's not that it wasn't not good. I enjoyed it. Like, it was good to watch. But
what were you waiting for the entire movie? Who were you waiting for?
I honestly don't even remember because I don't even really remember it.
I'm just saying, like, I was waiting for Walt the whole movie. Like,
okay.
when he turned on the radio, we all were holding out hope that Walt wasn't dead first. And when we found out Walt's dead, that's the first, and then you're just hoping for a Walt cameo the entire movie. I thought he actually, I you know what, low key, I thought he was outperformed by Todd. I thought Todd stole the show that movie. Like, I thought the movie became much more about Todd's character than Jesse Pinkman.
So
You can't have that.
I saw it once. I
Mhm.
watched it once. I don't really remember it, but
I'm not in the car. You're feeling kind of lonely, girl. Sing that song. Yo, Todd was such a creep, but so amazing. And like, I feel like he stole the show of that entire. He
had like the dead maid in his apartment.
Yeah, when he was making because Todd's so like random, but he's a horrible person. Like he's like, yeah, I'm holding you hostage, Jesse, but do you want some like chicken noodle soup? It's fine. Jesse, listen, I know I'm holding you hostage, but tonight I'm gonna get you pepperoni pizza. You know you like pepperoni, right? I'll even get you the meat lovers. Like he's like so terrible, but trying to be good. It's an awesome conflict of his character. But like I said, I feel like he stole the movie, and I was much more intrigued by him than at any point with Jesse in that movie.
Well, the thing is, Todd was a terrible person, but a nice guy.
Yes,
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's a terrible person, but a nice guy.
He shot that kid like that was a moment too when he shot that kid. Everyone was like, "What? Did Todd just catch a body?" What is? I didn't see that. I didn't have that on my bingo card. But anyway, enough of those conversations.
Well, we got it. Are we going to judge Breaking Bad strictly off of Breaking Bad?
We got. I want to compare and contrast.
Well, does Better Call Saul stand alone?
Yes.
Okay, because they're coming out. They're coming out with season 6 soon.
Good. We need to get that moving because that's lost a lot of momentum.
Well, season 6 is the final season.
Yeah, but it's lost a lot of momentum. Season 5 like 3 years ago. I need season 6 now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
which I think might even be better than Breaking Bad.
It could, but again, this has been. You talk about Breaking Bad being a slow build. This has been a slow build up to James McGill becoming Saul Goodman and all of that. This has been a lot, and like
Saul Goodman's the kind of lawyer that I would want.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Something I'm waiting to talk about for days that we didn't get into last week that kind of slipped on the radar. So we know the Super Bowl halftime show is coming up. We got Dre, we got Mary J, we got
the commercials yesterday.
Snoop, Kendrick.
The commercials yesterday were everywhere.
Yep. Yeah, so that's coming up. Everyone's excited for that. And Dr. Dre posted a video last week of Eminem rapping his Godzilla verse where he speeds up with the caption Marshall Mathers versus who? Swiss Beats replied to it, who Swiss Beats is one of the co-founders of Verzuz with Timbaland. So responds to it by saying, Busta, let's go. So then everyone got to talking. Busta Rhymes versus Eminem in a Verzuz. Not only do I not like this for Marshall, I don't like the idea of Marshall in a Verzuz period. I don't think, listen, we both respect the skill level of Marshall Bruce Mathers III. We know the skill level, the Gensu knife bars that Marshall can spit. His lyrical prowess is not up for debate. I don't believe an artist like him, though, belongs in the concept of Verzuz. Because here's the deal, especially with a guy like Busta, I believe, if you don't know, you need to look up Busta and look up his catalog. Busta has one of those catalogs you just don't want to mess with, period, on a good day. And so I don't know what Eminem does. Like, cleaning out my closet does not work in a Verzuz. You know what I mean? Like, Square Dance does not work in a Verzuz. The Real Slim Shady doesn't work in a Verzuz. My Name Is does not work in a Verzuz. With those crowds, like, Busta's going to be Break Your Neck, Tear the Roof Off, Dangerous, What's It Gonna Be, Touch It, Pass the Cavassier. What's M playing to those records? Like, and then Busta also can hit you with his verse on Scenario. He was on Flavor in Your Ear remix with Biggie. I don't know.
Don't forget about the Chris Brown verse.
Yeah, Look at Me Now.
Yeah.
I don't know what M's doing to combat that stuff. And but that's the problem, because then T.I. accepted the challenge against Eminem. I don't like him against T.I. either, for the same reasons. Because listen, at the end of the day, hip hop is a primarily black art form. That's just undisputed facts. You're going to go in a venue where it's predominantly black, and it has nothing to do with Eminem being white, but his style of hip hop is not conducive to that environment. And I'm telling you right now, the people in those venues will not be happy to hear the real Slim Shady. They ain't gonna want to hear that. Now, obviously, M has some incredible verses and some incredible feature work, but even those verses, I just don't believe work in the verses format. That's why I believe he won't do it. I think he knows that. I think he's smart enough to know that I don't make sense in that arena.
I don't want to see him do any, but I also think, though, the only way he would really stand a chance is if he turned it into a freestyle battle.
Right, which you can't do. Like, he's gonna freestyle, but like you can't. That's not what the
Unless he turned it into a battle, he's not going to win.
The only person that I would be okay with him going against is 50. And the reason why is I know 50 would take care of him in a sense that 50 wouldn't just club banger him over the head. He would do something that fits Eminem's profile and something that he knows, okay, he's going to hit this record, so I'm going to go more to like my street side records so it doesn't look weird, like where he's putting on Shake That Ass and I'm doing it in the club. Like, because obviously that ain't going to work. So I think 50 might be okay, but I don't want to see M in a verse. I don't want to see it. I don't think it makes sense, and I believe Busta would embarrass him.
For what it's worth, I don't think he's going to do it.
Neither do I, but I think Busta would absolutely embarrass him. I think Busta would take him over his knee and give him a spanking in front of the entire world, and we don't need to see that. Like, we don't need to see that because at the end of the day, right now we're in a weird place in hip hop right now where Eminem's already being disrespected a lot, which is silly to me. But if this happens, it's going to give those people ammunition. But M shouldn't be in there in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, he shouldn't be in that arena. He don't belong there.
I don't have any desire to see it.
No.
I'll be honest with you. After watching Jada's last performance, I don't really have any desire to see any more of him, period.
Yeah, Jada shut it down. I mean, I'm always going to be here for the foolishness and to see something, legendary, the possibility of something legendary. I love the concept of verses, so I'm always going to watch it. But yeah, Jada was Jadaing big time. But we'll see. But I don't think M's going to ever do it. I don't think we have to worry about it. And like, I think he understands that arena doesn't make sense for him. So I don't see it. But you had a question about throwbacks that I want to get into.
Yeah, I want to pose a question to you. So while I was snowed in at the Borgata,
mm-hmm.
I was at the gym on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was just scrolling through the pre-made playlists on Apple Music that they had. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And I came across one of them. It was hip hop, rap and hip hop throwback. Let me pull it up right here so I can properly hip hop and R&B throwback. Okay. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple songs on here. So my first question to you is, what is considered throwback? What is your criteria to where you mark something as throwback?
I think people, when people say throwback to me, they mean timeless music. Okay. And timeless music to me has no timestamp. And so I could put on something I could put on something like, that I was listening to in 2018 that I forgot about. I was like, oh, that could and take me back to a vibe where I was in 2018. So that could be timeless to me. Doesn't mean it's timeless to you. It can be timeless to me. So it's subjective. It really is. It's really where what makes you think. That's the great thing about music, right? Is that music takes people to places. Like when you hear a song, it takes you to a place. Like a really good song that you really resonate with, it takes you to maybe the first time you heard that song. Like maybe a girl you were with, or a guy you were with, or a club you were at, or friends you were with, or a shot you did. Like there's not many things that do that in life, but music does that every time. So I think it's more about not necessarily a throwback, but you're talking about timeless music.
Okay, well, let me give you 2 songs off of here, okay? You tell me if you would classify these as throwbacks.
Okay.
Okay, Sean Paul, Like Glue?
No.
Okay.
So wait, say it, Sean Paul, what?
Like Glue.
No. We Be Burning, yeah. Temperature, yeah.
Like Glue.
No. A B-side can't be a throwback.
How about Wiz Khalifa, Black and Yellow?
Yes.
You would consider that a throwback?
I give that throwback vibes, yes.
All right.
Black and Yellow is timeless.
Those were the 2 biggest ones that I had an issue with.
Yeah, I don't know. If I'm going Sean Paul, like I said, I'm going We Be Burning. I'm going Bring It All to Me.
Well, Give Me the Light. That's on here.
Yeah, I would put that in a throwback vibe. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, because you're talking Give Me the Light was like 2006. Something like that.
See, my thing is Black and Yellow came out in 2010. 2010, 2011. Would that classify as throwback to you?
Yeah, because again, it's timeless music. It's like it's something, and like that was 11 years ago. I mean, but it's definitely like when you hear Black and Yellow, what do you think about?
Pittsburgh.
Right. Well, I mean, you personally though, like where does it take you when you hear Black and Yellow?
Oh, I think I was a senior in college, senior year in college, something like that.
Do you have any memories associated with the song?
Well, so I have a little different experience because obviously it was Pittsburgh and I was in college and I had a lot of friends from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So it was like the soundtrack for like a whole 4 months in college because anywhere you would go, the Pittsburgh half of the town was always playing it. And the Philadelphia half of the town just endured it.
Right.
And then Meek Mill came out with that really weird remix of the Green and White. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, with Deshaun Jackson and Lou Williams in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out on all that.
Right. Yeah, it's just like, for me,
I'm just scrolling through the playlist right now, seeing if there's anything else that popped out.
Because you could have the thing is there's national throwbacks and there's regional throwbacks. National is throwbacks to everybody, regional is throwbacks to you. You could have a throwback that I'm like, all right, I mean, because it speaks to you, it don't necessarily speak to me.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through right now. No, there's nothing else really agrees. Those were the 2 that really jumped off the playlist to me.
I guess for me, I look at like, if I'm going national throwbacks, you got like the classic, This Is How We Do It, Montel Jordan, Pony, Genuine. Like,
oh, hold up. I have to throw a flag on this. This one didn't catch my attention at first. They went 21 questions over In the Club for 50.
As far as better songs?
Well, on the throwback list, I'm saying.
First of all, it's the same album, so that's weird. But no, I don't agree with that assessment.
Because In the Club's not on this at all, and I would consider that a throwback.
In the Tub is just an all-time.
Did you just say In the Tub?
In the Tub. You can find me in the tub.
Oh man,
it's an all-time. It is like you'll never like that's one of those songs like you'll never forget the first time you heard it. You'll never forget the first time you heard it outside. But that was a Marcus Bradham outside anthem in the club.
It was not for me. I was in 8th grade when it came out.
I was outside back in 2003. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think a throwback is subjective to you, and like anybody, like people are gonna like if we have people in the comments talk about their throwbacks, we're gonna hear all sorts of different stuff.
And probably a lot of them.
If you classify a Sean Paul song, a B-side, a throwback, do you, bro? If that makes you happy, do you? I want you to classify as a regional throwback, not a national throwback.
It's fair. I just didn't know what if there were specific criteria you had to follow for that.
No, I mean, yeah, I think timeless music, and something can be timeless to you that's not timeless to me. That's also the thing about music is that we're all blessed to have our own choices, and we're all blessed to have our own. Because like it's cool. Like the cool thing is like I look at your phone and your playlist and what you got in yours. is going to be completely different from mine. We might cross pollinate and have some of the same songs, but I know you're going to have stuff that I don't have. I'm going to have stuff that you don't have. That's the great thing about music. We all have different taste and we all have different seasonings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I got nothing else.
I just want to do one little plug if you don't care.
Plug it out.
So returning this week is I'm bringing back First Time, Long Time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. I have 2 episodes recorded already. I just haven't figured out if I'm going to release it on Tuesday or Thursday yet. But, this week I will be returning First Time, Long Time. So I do have 2 episodes recorded in the bank ready to go. And we'll be releasing them, like I said, either Tuesday or Thursday. Haven't decided which day yet. But they are recorded and they're ready to go.
That's awesome. Congrats again on that.
Thank you.
And like I said, I got nothing left, so I'm Marques retweeting everywhere.
Yeah, I'm just over here. I think I might just break out a little bit of the Don with me. Got the Don bottle over my other shoulder, too.
Love it.
Pandemic bottle. So, at Justin Emery Show on the Bluebird app.
Brad Emery Pod everywhere. BradEmeryShow.com for the merch. 10% off the code BREMI at Beef Jerky Outlet in Langhorne.
Use promo code BREMI10 for 10% off your first in-app order at District Taco.
And until next time, you can be with us, you can be against us, but you're never going to stop us. Late.